Hey, here are 5 damaging things I've noticed about reparative therapy. Number 1, it doesn't work. Reparative therapy, also called conversion therapy, is a form of quasi-psychiatric treatment intended to rid gay people or trans people of their homosexuality or transgenderism. Now, I'm going to get into a few of the many problems with this in the next several minutes, but the bottom line is that it doesn't work. The consensus opinion of modern science, medicine, and psychology is that sexual orientation and gender identity are enduring characteristics that can't be changed. You can't force a gay person to become a hetero person. You can't force a trans person to become a cis person. It just doesn't work that way. But there are much deeper problems with reparative or conversion therapy than its ineffectiveness. So let's talk about number 2. It denies LGBTQ identity. Reparative therapy is based on the assumption that LGBTQ people need to have their sexual orientation or gender identity fixed. That the way they are, the way they were born, is wrong and needs to be corrected. Now, there is no scientific or medical or psychological basis for this assumption. Homosexuality is not a disorder. It is one of many possible sexual orientations that humans can have, all of which are equally valid. A person who identifies as gay or bisexual or pansexual or asexual or whatever doesn't need to be fixed any more than I do for identifying as hetero. And ditto for trans folks. A person's sexual orientation and gender identity is their own. They know more about it than anyone else. And the only right thing for other people to do with it is acknowledge it, accept it, and respect it. Number 3, it's pseudoscientific. Because it's based on fallacious assumptions about how human sexuality works, it only follows that reparative therapy is itself a pseudoscientific enterprise. Through the years, practitioners of reparative therapy have employed numerous techniques, many of which amount to torture, including things like aversion therapy using electric shocks or induced nausea, none of which does anything at all except make the patient miserable. Reparative therapy takes the superficial form of psychiatric treatment, but in reality, it has about as much in common with legitimate psychiatry as homeopathy has with pharmacology. Number 4, it promotes rejection rather than acceptance. Unfortunately, for many people, coming out as gay or trans can lead to estrangement, harassment, and other forms of abuse at the hands of loved ones who harbor homophobic or transphobic attitudes. Many survivors of reparative therapy were subjected to it as teenagers, forced by parents who were seeking to correct what they saw as an intolerable abnormality. I can only imagine how heartbreaking it must be for a child to be so utterly betrayed by the people who are supposed to be their caregivers and guardians. Despite progress that we've made toward equality, the world can still be a very hostile place to LGBTQ folk, especially young people. And by offering misguided parents the apparent option to straighten out their wayward gay or trans teen, reparative therapy only encourages the alienation and rejection of LGBTQ youth. And the effects of that can be devastating. Which brings me to the final point that I'll make about reparative therapy. Number 5, it ruins lives. In 2009, the American Psychological Association released a report which concluded that reparative therapy can contribute to depression, substance abuse, social withdrawal, sexual dysfunction, and suicide. Another study conducted at San Francisco State University found that LGBTQ youth who had faced rejection from family were 8 times more likely to attempt suicide than LGBTQ youth who had not been rejected by family. And what is reparative therapy but the ultimate rejection? Gay and trans people don't have a disease. They don't need to be cured. They don't need to be changed. Most of the problems that LGBTQ people face in their everyday lives aren't due to their sexual orientation or their gender identity, but rather to the bigotry and discrimination they face because of what other people think about their sexuality and their gender identity. So if you're one of those people who thinks that a gay or a trans person is in need of conversion or repair because they're gay or trans, I've got news for you. They aren't the ones with the problem. You are. The hardest part is picking only 5. Catch you next time. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like it and share it and subscribe to this channel if you're not subbed already. And also, please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching.